Huh?
You taking any questions?
You could.
He looks like he's going to be
smart
your.
right now. I'll get all the critical review of what happened on the way home. So.
He looks like he's going to be your new punter.
Oh boy, how we doing? Good team win today. Found a way to win. I think we've done that most of the year. We've been able to find ways to win as a team. And started a really sloppy first half for us with execution. And not just, we didn't block or this. Guys just going the wrong direction, getting the wrong signal, running the wrong plays. So that was kind of disappointing. But we felt we had a good plan, and the guys, we just told them keep sticking with it. They did a great job with the plan to win. I think, obviously, I don't know all the little notes how to look at right here, but I think really for the first 3 quarters of the game, they dominated field position. Which is playing to win. They kept us pinned deep, made us have to go the length of the field. They bend and then we punt, and they won the field position game and did what they needed to. And fourth quarter, I think we were able to flip that. We were able to, create a turnover, create some positive drives, finish drives in the red zone, and a really good finish to the game by our guys.
Was Kyle struggling with the wet ball, or was?
I don't think so. I think at times he was trying to do too much. They were throwing a lot of different looks at him. He was, there were times, some simple things he could have done. He was just trying to do a little too much at times.
Dan, what are you seeing out of the run game? It seems like it's starting to come off.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Obviously you want a little bit more consistency out of it. But we are hitting like explosive plays, and I think just how people are playing us for those things, it gives opportunities for explosive plays. So, and how they're defending the run and try to bracket different receivers and take receivers away from you, that you end up getting explosive runs.
Yeah, can you talk about being right where you want to be right now? Open day in Georgia,
Feels
31.
Love it. This is, you drew it up and said, this is, you want to be in November. We're going to head into November, right? I think next game's in November.
Yes.
So you're heading into November in control of your own destiny and what's going to happen, and that's where we want to be. That's where we expect to be at Florida. So we've got a bye week, chance to hopefully get some guys healthy. It's great credit to the guys that our team, the guys next guy up, to get us in this position with all the injuries we've had to deal with this year. But hopefully we get healthy moving forward, and we got a big break. And got a big 3-game stretch after the bye to try to win the SEC East.
Coach, you were asked about adversity, responding to adversity last week after the LSU win.
Yeah.
Seems like you did that, the rain, the weather,
Yeah, you come out, rainy day. We don't, you come out, their first drive, they make a leaping, diving, one-handed catch after we make a great defensive play. And we get 2 offside penalties, And then we go out and we have 3 MAs, 3 missed signings, 3 times in a row. Guys go the wrong direction, run the wrong play. And you're like, holy cow, maybe we're not going to handle the adversity really well. But, we just keep coaching. Our guys keep playing, give great effort. At halftime, we're not a whole lot of panic, Even we come out the first play of the second half, just here, take the ball and get a quick touchdown. There was some more adversity on us. But found a way to win, came back, and one of the hard things, you look at the fourth quarter of that game, coming off the stretch we've had to just come off of, right? Where you're playing 2 top 10 teams, and you played one last week where your team gets home at 4 something in the morning from a late night kickoff, and be able to finish the game, 21-7 in the fourth, to finish the game that way. Really shows a lot about the mental toughness of the team.
Could you attribute any of that to maybe the slow start, just a sluggish hangover?
Early kick, weather. It was. I thought we had a good week of practice. We didn't have a lot of juice at practice and energy at practice this week, But I think, guys, I'm looking at guys, and I think they were kind of a little worn down. But they took care of business all week, and you saw as the game wore on, we were able to do that.
Freddie Swain's catch.
Great catch. Mm-hmm. Really good by Kyle. I think they called the holding on him, right? He was running the route, and the guy, he's with a very similar situation other game where the guy he's the primary receiver, and the guy kind of held and tackled him. And they called it, but he stuck with him, and Freddie was able to pull out of it and catch it and make the play. And that was a great play. I'm looking at it. I didn't know he caught it. I'm like, boy, looks like that because I'm watching him. He's the primary receiver, and you get that happened, and then, and then I saw the flag, and I saw Kyle, I'm like, just hold on to the ball just in case the flag doesn't come out here, and he still threw it to him, and he was able to make the catch.
Was that a teaching moment for you last week? I mean, if Kyle throws the ball at Tyree's feet, it might be a pass interference call, so you work with him on?
Yeah, I mean, to just stick with it, trust your reads, trust your reads, and trust, this is where you're supposed to go with the ball, go with it, and, and he did on that play.
On the Pitts touchdown,
Yeah.
it put you up 31-20. How often do you guys, how sensitive is that practicing that play and that execution of the run?
It's really, he was late with the throw, which makes it closer, I mean, it should have been a much quicker throw. Like, both our last 2 touchdowns were quick throws, kind of screen passes. The first one he was late, and the second one he got out right on time, so.
And the Damian Pierce run, the 75-yard run, what kind of a spark did that give you?
Well, I thought huge, you know what I mean, at that point. We come out in the second half, we're like, all right, we're getting the ball, tie game, we're in good position. We just like, hey, we don't want it, you take it, and then they score on a 3rd down and long, and, it's kind of like, holy mackerel. So I think that brought some juice and life to the team, I mean, just to avoid the negative start to the second half, it kind of like changed it around immediately.
Jacob Copeland's best day, what was working for him today?
I think the biggest thing for him, he's had the last 2 weeks, he's been much better in practice. A different player in practice than he was, and not playmaking. I mean, I've watched him make plays, but this different player in the discipline of what he's doing and knowing his assignment, knowing how to run routes. Which I think for young guys, that's the hard thing. They, look and they're like, Coach, don't you see me make these great plays? I'm a playmaker. And I said, I do, but then I see you go the wrong way sometimes, I mean, you got to be disciplined and exact. And in the last 2 weeks, he's really done a good job of that, of improving that way. And, I think that was, you saw it. So I think he's gotten a lot more trust from everybody. And you saw that he has the ability to make plays.
His touchdown catch, how much does that just kind of show his athleticism doing it between
It was a really athletic catch and finish to the play. It was a great play.
Coach, George has been the standard bearer in the East over the last couple of years. What does the upcoming game mean to the team and the program?
Yeah, it'll be a big one, I mean, they were able to, we're a little different. We were in a different situation last year. I know we weren't totally, I don't think, in control of our destiny going into that game. I don't think somehow we are this year. So, it'll be a big game. Florida Georgia's usually used to being a big game. It's a fun game to play in, great atmosphere. Should be really exciting.
Dan, before that go-ahead touchdown, that 4th down play that Pitts completed, was there any hesitation about going for it?
No, the time before we punted, which ended up being the right route, I think. I'm looking at the clock, I'm looking where we were. It's great that we have an offensive staff and everybody, because you got to call the plays quick. So you're thinking, I have time to flip over to Todd and say, should we go for it here? But Brian's upstairs, and Brian, I think one of the things upstairs, you get a little different feel at times of things. And he's like, hey, pin him deep. We're okay. We're fine. We're down 3. We're playing good defense. Just pin him deep here. We'll get the ball back and make something happen. And so I think that was big. And then the next time we're in that situation, we're about 5 to 6 yards closer. Right? I think that one was at the 41 or 42. The next time was at the 34. And in the weather, you're like, the first question is, can Evan hit it from there? The answer to that's yes. But in the conditions we're in today, I don't know that you want to go after that. And I felt good. We have playmakers, so just got to get the ball to our playmakers, and we're able to do that.
Before halftime, you guys get pinned deep. It seemed like you were going to be content just to go to the locker room. Then you get a big run. Was there any thought?
Yeah, it was kind of back and forth. You know what I mean? The big run still put us.
Still back up.
The big run put us still at the 20-something yard line, and so it was kind of one of those where are we going to go? Do we just take one shot down the field to see where we're at to get out of it? Try to take one more chunk play, and see if we can get ourselves in field goal position. But we knew we were getting the ball to start the second half, and the other issue for that one to me is like I said, we hadn't been executing clean in the first half. If we were executing clean, maybe a different mindset, but we had some mistakes.
How do you feel about Zuniga and Bernard's availability for the next game? Are you optimistic?
I don't know. I am. I'm extremely optimistic. It's been how many weeks now? So, by medical standards, hopefully, by medical standards and timing, I'm very optimistic that they'll be good to go. I'm optimistic, honestly, they'll be good to go for the next Monday's practice. A week, not, game week, at least by Tuesday at the absolute latest to practice for Georgia.
Hey, Dan, what, do you think that you talked about the lack of execution early, and guys missed assignments, do you think maybe that had to do with mental fatigue from what you guys have just been through?
Yeah, it could. It could. I don't know. We're gonna watch, and we'll talk, and say, guys, say, hey, I saw something else. I saw this play signaled. I saw that play signaled. And, but it wasn't one guy. So it was like, hey, Kyle Kyle got the wrong signal, and the receivers ran one play, he ran another, and then receivers ran different routes, and then they were supposed to run, and two guys ran a route, and two guys ran a different route. And we're all over the place. So that's kind of annoying, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because last week the operation
was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So
What was it? What do you think the difference was? The conditions?
18 to 22-year-olds grinding each other, trying to go to school, get a degree, learn a plan, having to play a tough schedule. And, this is a really good team we play. I don't get anything wrong in this. When you go look at this, like I said, we're right now, everyone said, okay, the 4-game stretch that we're 3 games through is probably the toughest in college football anybody has to play this season. You got a hard time, you're going to have to jump up and down and see the schedule that South Carolina's had to play is probably one of the toughest schedules this season. And so, they played pretty well. You're a good football team.
What do you think of their run game? Particularly
I think they did a really good job scheming it up. I think they had to make some changes with Helinski not being able to move there. So I thought they did a good job of creating some schemes to, just be able to allow him to hand the ball off pretty easily. And then I thought they did a really good job of creating schemes of attacking, when our 2 best players are out, of attacking those parts of the field. You know what I mean? Which is that's what you do. You look for your advantage and your mismatches. And they're looking and saying, hey, okay, if Zuniga and Grenard aren't playing, let's attack those positions, and they did a good job doing it.
How did Helinski's status kind of impact maybe your?
How's what?
How did Helinski's pending status kind of impact your game plan at all? Anything on that?
Not at all. Not at all. I thought I would give him credit. He must have had a pretty severe injury last week to not come back in the game. Kyle had a similar deal, and he was able to come back into the game, and so to come back and recover from that week, I give him a lot of credit.
So you miss those guys in the running game, maybe even more than the passing game.
Yeah, it is, we can, and Todd, you see, we put some other guys in, now we get really young in a hurry. But you see, guys like Bogle and Mahmoud coming in the game as young pass rushers. So I think, for that, but it is, you got to really sub kind of to try to get that done. And, those guys are pretty physical run players.
Was the plan to use Emery anymore and weather dictated, or was that about what you
Brian
wanted
was,
to use it?
Brian was on the headset like, hey, and Emery was ready to go. And we had some plays and some plays for him. Again, we were a little sloppy, and there are times I'm like, oh, should we put him in? And Kyle's missed a couple reads, and we've called this play. But, and then I'm sitting there, like, I didn't get him in early enough. He's coming in. There's a little bit of rain at different times. I want him having to come in to deal with it, and I know he would be fine. Like I said, we have some plays. It's kind of a feel thing. It's not a set thing. But I thought he did a great job. He was ready to go on every snap, and we'll see. We'll get some time, get a plan. Now we get a bye week too. We'll get to look at some things and really kind of set some. The coaching staff got time to really set aside and say, hey, here's some ways and here's some things that we can get back to that we did maybe a long time ago that he can really hurt you with.
How do you guys do that self-scouting? Is that like beginning of the week?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to give the coaches off tomorrow. We'll be back at it early Monday morning.
Final question for Coach. We got some players ready to come in. Thanks, guys.